Sometimes I feel like I'm back on the streets again. Sometimes it's the only place that I know. That I know. Sometimes I feel like I'm back on the streets again. Sometimes I feel like there's no place to go. Sometimes I feel like I'm back on the streets again. Sometimes it's the only place that I know. Sometimes I feel like I'm back on the streets again. Sometimes I feel like there's no place to go. Sometimes I feel like I'm back on the streets again. Sometimes it's the only place that I know. Only place that I know. Yeah. Don't believe me if I tell you not a word of this is true. Don't believe me if I tell you, especially if I tell you that I'm in love with you. Don't believe me if I tell you that I wrote this song for you.
Go side by side in his mirror. He's playing with the bottom here. Stay with the bottom. Big wreck in your mirror. Big wreck in your mirror. Oh no! Oh my God! That looks awful.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for watching TARNATION TV here on Saturday night, February the 28th already. Last day of the month. Let's do some racing at Talladega with the All-Star Racing League. Thanks again for watching, of course. Thanks again to Bryant Motorsport Auto Sales for the sponsorship this year. And of course, Fluid Studios, Brian Wolf, they're all in cahoots together to bring TARNATION TV back to this awesome league. This is season number 1 here on a Saturday night. And they don't waste too much time between seasons. I think there's a couple of weeks off and we'll be right back at it. But we've still got a few races left in season number 1. So, of course, race number 8 of 10 this evening. Thanks again to everybody for tuning in. Of course, all the drivers. We got a bunch. I'm showing 33. So without further ado, I am Blaine Donlan, joined by Rod Weston in the co-hosting seat.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Glad to be back here again at ASR. Some good racing going on tonight at the Superspeedway. We got to talk about points, as we always try to do at the, we get through this. Denny Carroll currently holding the points lead down by 10 points over Randy Waugh. Bobby Farrell has really come in strong there at the end of it. He's up into the 4th. Dante Ricky is in the 4th spot, and rounding up the top 5 is Nate Balzer. And I think you look at it, really, it's still pretty open. I think the top 10 could probably get up there and even contend for the championship. But we've seen like Denny Carroll, Randy Waugh pretty much since about the halfway point be the 2 names that have kind of hung around up there. So it'll be interesting to see how they do tonight. We know last week Denny had a little bit of rough luck, and Randy was, right up there. So we'll have to just see how it all works out this week.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, the points are so tight. You have a couple of bad races, you could be completely out of this thing because of how they have the points structured. Getting a podium finish is definitely a bonus because there's a lot more space between the points when you get 3rd, 2nd, or 1st. Everybody else is only separated by 1. So getting a podium finish in this league on a Saturday, it really does help you out.
Look back at Doug Hillick's back there in the 10th spot, but he's only 47 points out. We've got 3 races counting tonight's race, so there's plenty of time to see the points shake up quite a bit. But it's just like I said, the normal we've seen kind of like since the halfway point. Randy Waugh and Danny Carroll have kind of just been the only drivers that have stayed up there. Dante Ricky he's been up there, but he's been down and back and down and back. We've seen Billy Ellis, who's down there in 9th right now. He was kind of running around the beginning of the season at the top. He just kind of fell back a little bit. But we have also seen a lot of different drivers. You look back and further back. Ken Roberts has been here. He's been every race. Just hasn't had the luck. Cody Lamas has been doing really good lately. And then we was it Greg Palmer? He won the first race. Hung out there at points for the first little time. But there again, he missed a couple of races. So, it'd be interesting.
Yeah, I don't believe Roberts made it here tonight because at the last minute we got the call that they had some replacements. Brian Wolf and Garland Oaks doing the administrating stuff. There's a couple other guys, I can't remember who they were, but Ken is one of their main guys on Saturday. I believe this is kind of his series.
It is, yeah.
So for him not to make it, it's probably work related. I know on a Saturday, I think he cuts it pretty tight most times trying to get here. Usually able to make it happen, but something probably happened. He wasn't able to make it, but the show must go on. So,
yeah.
Away we go. And yeah, there's still, I'm showing, let me see here, 33 spots, of course, 2 of us. So yeah, 31 drivers on track, it looks like tonight.
That's 31, 32 drivers tonight. Yeah, that's great too. And my thing is looking back there that we're going to go through the qualifying list. Hopefully we have time. We're going to get Brian Wolf down here in a little bit. But my pick for tonight, the hope to just finish a damn race would be David Chim. He was out last week, but has not finished a race this season. He's kind of had a bad season. He's got to just stay out of all this mess that everybody else around him is having, and and get out there and at least get a finish in tonight. Yeah,
weird the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Even on Thursday when we were at Rolling Thunder, it was the same thing. There's guys who win that stuff who aren't even close to getting into the playoffs, and it's pretty wild how that's happened to David. The first 7 races of DNF, And it's, it's got to turn around here now. We've got, two full races left. So,
Well, tonight,
or
three
10,
right now.
or three. Yeah, we got 3 full races left because this is race 8 of 10. But he's got to finish one of them, right? Come on, David.
Yeah. All right. Well, in the booth now, we got Brian Wolf with us. Brian, you got a copy?
Hey, what's happening, guys? I am excited.
Yeah, man. It sounds like you are.
I am very excited.
Too excited.
Well, we were just looking at the points, like how tight this is. A couple of bad races for some guys, a couple of good races for somebody else could really shake this up as it does all the time. But, yeah, man, you got your stuff you want to talk about, so let her rip. We got a special pace car driver this evening, too.
I'll mention that in just a second. But, I just love the opportunity to get in here and thank our sponsors. Dave Chin, along with all the lead admin at ASR and Bryant Motorsports and Auto Sales, our sponsor that, pretty much pays all the bills around here and allows us to do this. So we're just so grateful for them. And, man, this has been such a fun series. I was just telling these guys in the drivers meeting, we've got all the heavy hitters from around the entire community all landed here at ASR on Saturday nights. And it's like, you're not going to find any better drivers at the Superspeedway stuff than this. I mean, it's been so competitive. Getting this thing off the ground was, we had a couple of speed bumps, but man, what a blast this has been. I just want to mention, just the great admin team we have here, and thank you guys as well for covering us. I think we're in the process of inking a deal for a season 2 for broadcasting, so we're really excited about that. I want to get in here and plug our Wednesday night Cup series, our NASCAR Cup series that runs open setups, the BR15 Cup Physics mod. That has been just a blast. We're getting that thing off the ground too. And it's, if you want a challenge, if you're a sim racer and you want a challenge, there's no bigger challenge than our series on Wednesday night. So come on out and join us. And we might even talk about some broadcasting for that for the future too. I had a good friend, a dear friend of mine that I met years and years ago, actually in one of the recovery chat rooms when I was struggling. And I became good friends with a girl named Cindy Bruce. And she happened to marry another fellow that I met in there named Don. And he passed away, I think, yesterday. And so we just want her to know that we're thinking about her and Don. And, we want to say Godspeed. And, the only thing I can say to her, would be that, sometimes God picks his best flowers first. If somebody let you loose in their flower garden, which ones you going to pick? You know what I mean? So that's about the only thing I could say to, anything comforting. But he was a great man, and we're going to name him honorary pace driver tonight, just to pay tribute to him. So, Cindy, we're thinking about you, and we hope you're watching, and hang in there. And if you need anything, you know where to find me.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. That sucks, but yeah, that's life, I guess. It's weird. There's a lot of people that are leaving us recently, and every week it seems like we're getting a new name. But rest in peace, Mr. Davis.
I appreciate that. And man, away we go. I got about 1 minute to get down here and get strapped in. We're going to talk about in the upcoming weeks, we're going to talk about Cannon's race coming up in April. We're getting prepared for that, and we've got a couple other special events that we're going to be involved with. Kelly Causey and the whole ALS thing, and Nate Balser and his cancer awareness thing that he does every year. We're planning on that coming up here this year. So, man, we got a lot of stuff coming up.
Yeah, a lot of special events, which is always fun. With again, there's so many different causes, like you with the end gun violence, and then we've got the ALS with Team Elmo, and then the cancer thing that Nate does. I mean, that's a big one too, and they're always massive races. They get tons of views. We never take payment for those races, and if we do, we just donate it right back into the fund, because there's usually a donation pool somewhere. But yeah, stay tuned to the channel for that stuff. There'll be QR codes if there's donations going on, with plastering all over the screens and whatnot. But yeah, man, this could be a good one tonight. Another full house almost. Looks like there's about 33 guys out here.
Oh man, we're going to have fun. Our lead admin, Ken Roberts, will not be here tonight. He's a little under the weather. and we are getting ready to roll here. So I got to run, guys. I got to go get strapped in.
All right. Well, good luck.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Bryant. Good luck. There's Garland Oaks, one of Brian's co-admins. Just popped into the room to chat a little bit. It's funny too, like these guys admin at different leagues, but I guess the back end of this is all the same with the RLM race server setup. I think it's all web-based, so it's a bonus that even if you are an admin in a different league, you don't need to learn a different system. You don't need to learn different software.
No, it's all basically the same. But most of the guys do is they put macros in. We didn't really get through the qualifying order there because it's been a little hectic for us this afternoon, getting some of the cars, getting them right. But we'll say that Dante Ricky did take the pole tonight. Was a qualifying situation. Next week there'll be random qualifying, so we're not going to get a chance to really get down through that list. Although Blaine did beat me again in qualifying, which seems to always happen. But
nice.
We'll try to go through them the best we can as we get along here through the night.
There's Don Davis in the pace car. I don't have an ASR pace car. How come? Oh man. You think I'd know how to use this game properly after all these years? I'm pretty sure I had an ASR pace car, but
that's the one you've had for the last few weeks.
I think. Oh yeah, you know what? We do so much broadcasting too. I think I have custom cars for certain. I definitely have them for certain leagues, but then different leagues run different cars, and then anyway, we can see the car. That's the bonus.
See, the one car you do have, fortunately, that's the good thing is Dante Ricky's car. I cannot see that car tonight, so I don't know where that one was, but we had a little trouble tonight just trying to get cars loaded and running right.
Yeah, there's a couple of newer cars out there too. We had the 53 of, I think it was it Branch?
Mike Brush. He's a new one for tonight.
It's always cool, man. Like, I mean, we run this thing all the time, and then every once in a while we get a new name pop up. Obviously, he's not new to the game because they would never let him race here if he was. But all these different leagues, there's tons of different leagues. Like we deal with a dozen, 15, maybe 20 leagues that I could name off the top of my head, but that's not even scratching the surface of the size of the NR 2003 community all these years later. It's like we have our own little section on the internet, but then within that bubble, we've never even seen half of it. So, with all the different broadcasting channels, again, we know half a dozen of them. There's way more than that. I've come across a bunch, and it's awesome that this thing keeps on rolling, and then new names keep popping up. But lots of talent out here on the track again. Welcome, Mike Bush.
Yeah, so Dante Ricky's on the pole. Kelly Caza is outside. Greg Lovell, Rodney Sullins, Nate Balzer, then Perry Bond. We haven't seen much Perry Bond this year, but he's been out tonight. He is followed by Mark Paglia and then Robert Breedlove. So that gives you the top 10. Pace car next the journey down pit road. Let's see what kind of start. Is it Kelly Caza that's going to get the better start, or you think it's going to be Dante Ricky? We'll have to see. Remember, the start-finish line is not in the corner. It's at the end of pit road. So we'll see how that works out when they get there.
Yeah, it's always a tough call out of these, especially with all these guys, who's going to get the better start.
Mm-hmm. A lot of times, too, that's just because you get the better start. It all depends on who do you got behind you.
Mm-hmm.
Like Dante Ricky got the better start down that one, but Kelly Caza got the bump a little earlier. I always talk about how when we start these races, you always see that inside line 9 times out of 10 will get that better run, but that outside line coming off the corner will get that better run. And usually that's the way when they go to get the rubber bands, wound up. But Kelly Caza didn't quite get the start that he needed, so it's going to take him a little bit longer to get that outside line going. But you just keep your eye on it; it's coming.
Yep. Couple good bumps there. You saw Barry Bond in that green Xbox car, the 060. He put the lumber right to the back of the 38, which then of course travels through to the 00. So we'll all get rolling here eventually. Top speed usually takes about a lap and a bit.
Then you got to see there, you got Greg Lovell on the bottom there behind Dante Ricky. It's too late now for, well, maybe, I was going to say too late now for Dave Balzer to be able to pull up there. You may see these guys pull right up in front of them, the outside groove, when they see the momentum coming, to just take that momentum and use that to keep them forward. Dave Balzer didn't quite clear it, and then Mark Paglia gave him a heck of a shot. He did clear him for a little bit, and then that outside line got back up there. So it'd be interesting to see. Some guys like to run the bottom, some guys like to run the top. Robert Breedlove going to the third groove out there. He's got Randy Waugh, and I believe, and then Greg Palmer pulls up there. That was Nostra back there behind Breedlove. He's just a little bit further out of look. Look at Greg Palmer goes up there, gets that line going.
Yeah,
and now Greg Palmer pulls out. But that middle lane where he went to has only got 3 cars. Now, mind you, those are 3 guys right there that draft really well together. But that upper line's got more cars. They do have help coming in the middle by Doug Hillock and Garland Oaks, but they're going to be a while before they get there. So it'd be interesting to see how they can go.
And that's a funny situation there, because you've got the top and the bottom line. I'm not a fan of the bottom. I'd be more of a fan of the top or the middle. But if I was on the top in that situation, I would hesitate to go to the middle. Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
No
Wow,
way.
did they save that?
Yes, they did.
Wow.
Holy moly, dude.
What a save. I mean, there was one car down below the line. Yes, it slowed a few of them up a little bit.
Yeah.
But not that much.
Fiddlesticks.
Broke that top line off is because it was happened from the top line down to the bottom.
Let's back that up. We're going to take a look at that. That was pretty awesome.
That
We're
is
3 wide,
probably
about 4 rows deep, and then an accident was happening. I don't know how Randy Waugh did not spin out, because he looked like he was actually going sideways. We'll go from a helicopter cam on this one, because that'll give us the best view, I think.
Kind of almost looked like Noster just, got in there, was trying to stay with him, trying to give him that extra push, and might have just tapped him a little bit. Not intentional. That's what you got to do here to get these people to...
Oh, you know what? It might have been Bond that... How did that not? Holy moly. He hit, who's that? Elliser? He hit Elliser on the bottom line so hard.
Knocked him off the track.
Yeah, I think it was the 060. Yeah, the 931 got out of shape. Man, the amount of force that he hit that 26 with. Billy Elliser holding on to that thing.
But do you realize where Billy Elliser is? Is
Unreal.
The 6th car on the inside. He lost no momentum at all. Never lifted.
Imagine seeing this view. You're done for. That's weird.
Go to was it Mike Rush right there? I think it is right in front of him. It's either I believe it's Mike Rush in the 53. Go into his car. So go to the cockpit of his car, like, you know what I mean? To see it from the cockpit.
See it.
What it would look like. Yeah.
Oh, are you talking Bush or are you talking?
Oh, the 53. It was right in front of him, and he missed it all.
Yeah, even the 23 of Hewlett in the middle. Or Bombard on the bottom. We'll get back to live here in a second. We're just checking this out here if I can get a cockpit cam.
Watch from Mike Bush's view. That is crazy. Oh, he's getting that going on. Doug Helix got that high side working again. All of the drivers that were involved in pretty much all of them. Even Garland Oaks got a heck of a shot there, but every one of them drivers right back up there running.
Wild. Yeah, all drivers still in the draft.
On the high side. Randy Waugh's a little further back. Billy Elliser's right in front of him. They're all back in that lead draft and going for it.
I've never seen a hit that hard not affect, like the physics. This is a great physics model. I don't know what happened there, but it looked like that should have been an absolute catastrophe. But the fact that they all held on to that, and even looking from Hewlett's car, he lifted and maybe even had to brake check a little bit, but so did everybody around him. That's why we had a little bit more space. But great heads up play by everyone, really.
While we were checking stuff out there, we had a few different lead drivers. We see Dante Rixey got out there, led a lap. Greg Lovell got out there. Currently, Kelly Cazza's out in the front leading right now. We apologize you didn't get to see all of that. There was a lot of side-by-side racing, but That was incredible that happened, and it didn't. Nobody got damaged. Probably everybody just kept going.
Mm-hmm.
Inside line's got the most cars right now. Doug Hillick, Tim Noster, and I think Mike Paglia there. They've been trying on that high side. Of course, obviously they got no place to go to get to the bottom, but they've been trying to get that high side working. Garland Oaks, and I think Bobby Farrell and them guys are coming up to him.
Breedlove is bouncing. Yeah, we'll have to go. Oh, Breedlove's right. Oh, they're all wrecking. Holy moly. Got one car on fire down there. Who's that? Mangialardi is demolished.
I missed that one.
Yeah, I heard the tires squealing. I was able to drop the camera in turn 3 there and catch a little bit of it, but wow, Mangialardi went way up into the fence.
No, they're crashing under yellow around the pace car. All kinds of them. Randy Waugh, Billy Elliser.
Oh, they're really close in the turn here. Bobby Farrell going in slow motion here, right behind the 41. Nowhere to go.
Some of the drivers come in a little too hot. Billy Elliser slowed down for the pace car. Tapped from the back by Randy Waugh. Mark Paglia is involved.
Wow, we got cars everywhere.
Yep.
On the initial wreck.
Hey, good news. I got to double check before I say that.
Man, the 931 of Breedlove. Holy moly. One boy with him. He went for a ride and a half. Don't adjust your set.
That's going to end the night for Breedlove for sure.
Yeah, Breedlove's gone. I think the car actually blew up.
Looked like it shouldn't be on the track, so.
Oof. Yeah, it went pretty quiet when he got hit there. I think he's got no motor left. I wonder how many. You want to. Let's do an over-under on how many rolls he took. I'm thinking about 7.
Gosh, I don't know. It was a few.
Yeah, see if we can watch how many times the wheels come back to the ground here.
The hood on that thing there isn't a straight panel on it.
I wonder if we count that as 1. I don't know. That's a sideways one. Maybe we'll count that as 1.
News of all of that.
Right there.
Good news about all of that. After that, there was a little episode on the backstretch. Even with all of that, Dave Chin slowed right down almost to a stop. Oh, he did get part of that one. A little bit.
Oh, I said about 7, and I think I counted 7. Take it. Well, here's another one here that almost happened. Oh, man. Who's that? That's Shalinsky. What a move there. He was dropped in with Mike Brush. Well, they're still wrecking, and they're going pretty quick. He avoided it 10, just barely. And then you said they were wrecking under caution.
The backstretch. Into the pace car on the backstretch.
Okay. So we're still in replay mode here.
Had a few cars stay out. Randy Waugh decided to stay out to lead a lap before he goes down into pit road. He was involved in that episode on the backstretch. Then you got Brian Rosson. Either way.
Looked like Waugh may have gotten into LSR, I think. Yeah.
Terry Bombard, Terry Bombard, Dennis Chambers, and Cody Lamas, a.k.a. The Alex Moe, call him, a.k.a.,
Mm-hmm.
5 cars stayed out. I'm sure that most of them will go back in and pit, depending on, there's no lap down cars, so not sure if there'll be anybody that stays out. Yeah, that's 10 laps into the race, but I think you got to come in and pit and get fuel and not get yourself that far off the pace.
It'd be an interesting strategy if they chose to do that, though.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't be wrong.
It might not be if it's a caution-filled night, it might not be, because you can stay out of the trouble up there. But I know Randy Waugh probably have to come in just because. I would think, or maybe he did. I see there on the thing that they pitted. So
Yeah, Mike Mangialardi and Robert Breedlove, as we saw from the replay, there was not much left of either of their car. Unfortunately, I've had to retire this evening. So the 029 and the 931, we'll be watching this one from the sidelines.
Brian Wolf forgot to tell me to go live after going and looking.
Benjamin Schneider in the chat tonight. How many cars tonight? Looks like we got 31 started.
32, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I got Mangialardi being the last place car, and he's 31st position. You will hopefully be able to monetize your channel after Tuesday when we can get 1,000 subscribers. I'm sitting at like 380. You can actually monetize after 500. Once I get to 500, I can monetize the channel because I have enough watch hours. There's like 52,000 watch hours or some crazy number that it doesn't even make sense in my mind. And as long as you can consistently post something like 6 videos a month that gain, there's all these algorithms that they have. I qualify for everything except for the subscriber base. You'd need to have 500 minimum. So we're still a couple hundred away from that, but thanks, Ben. If we can find 1,000 or 700 to get to 1,000, one or the other.
You got a few takers on pit road, just people that either want to do a different strategy.
Yeah, we've been following Chin for the last couple of laps. He's actually come in. Might have to back up there. Yeah, he missed. But, yeah, just coming in for a splash of fuel to top it up. So 2 in a row there for some of these people. The current race leader is the 84 of Dante Ricci. Lights are out on the pace car.
Rodney Sullins on the outside. Colton's put something in there 10. I don't know what he was referring to, though, on the chat.
And something.
Last time he said something about that Rodney had to put some Lucas oil in there, and I told him to put some Royal Purple in it. That would be the good thing for him. Oh no, they're crashing again on the backstretch under caution. These car lights are back out.
We've had more wrecks under yellow tonight.
Not sure what happened there, but there's a checkup on 53. It's an accordion checkup kind of thing on the backstretch there, and piled up a bunch of them. Chuck T's involved in it. Let's see what car that's up against the wall. I hope that's not David Chin.
Lights are back on. Yeah, okay, so we can go back and check that out.
That was David Chin was involved in it at late in the fact. Not another full moon out there, is there tonight? I don't know.
Yeah. The Talladega race here, this same track on Thursday, was a haunted race for sure.
I'm thinking that the moon's got to be behind the booth. We can't see it from the out back. We only got windows going out in the front here, so.
Yeah, it looks like Shalinsky just.
It almost looked like the 53 stopped a little bit slower than.
Maybe
Shalinsky didn't catch it.
Yeah.
It just accordion back.
Yeah, David Chin's there, but I think he just parked it.
Yeah.
He didn't actually get hit.
It's the second time he's done that tonight. I think he should just do exactly what he's been doing. Stay out of trouble. Don't matter if he loses the draft or whatever. Just stay out of trouble and finish a race.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can see he just parked it, let the 18 figure it out. I mean, there's no set, especially under yellow. You're going to keep your position. Yeah, you just got to keep the car clean. Oh, Al Sullins counted 10 barrel rolls.
Okay. Oh, that's
on the Sundrop car. So the Sundrop car had Billy Elliser being shown a black flag. That might be a fluke. That might be passing under yellow or something because of the cautions.
I would think it probably had something to do with that episode there.
So let's go look at Mangialardi then, because if he's saying that was the Sundrop car, we'll load up that replay here. He's saying he did 10. Yeah, I saw him go up into the air, but I actually never. Yeah, okay. He had more flips.
Mangialardi did?
Here now, yeah.
Wow.
He's saying 10. I counted 7 on Breedlove, so let's see if we can get. He's floating right now.
His car is on pit road. While he goes and checks that out, I'll try to give you the play-by-play the best I can.
Oh wait, that's not Sundrop. That was Sundrop. It was Breedlove. Maybe I missed a couple. I didn't count a couple of them just because he was kind of slipping sideways and doing kind of reversals and stuff, so he kind of unwound himself.
Dante Ricky got the great start. Got Greg Lovell right there on his tail, giving him a shot that pushed him right out to the front. Rodney Sullins on the high side, got Kelly Kaza behind him. Denny Carroll making his first run up near the top tonight on the outside. Fourth car on the outside behind Tim Noster up there. So, see which line gets. Ooh, what a move by Denny Carroll. Coming from the high side, slid right into a hole that was just wide enough for that Ford Mustang to fit in there. Moved himself right down to the bottom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he seems to like the bottom. He tries to find his way down there most of the time.
I think that has to do with certain drivers can drive like a really loose setup, and they can drive a tight setup, but they prefer not to. I think if you're a driver that likes a tighter setup, the bottom is more comfortable for you. So I think that's Denny Carroll, who likes the setup to be a little bit tighter. So being down at that bottom, to me, it feels a little bit too tight.
Yeah, and getting off the corners, like especially right here at turn 2, the car wants to slide up, but you got to really focus on holding it down there. But yes, that's not my style, but it's definitely these guys' style.
You saw Greg Lovell behind Dante Ricky there. He kind of slid up the track a little bit, and that's kind of what it does. And you got to do one of two things. You either got to kind of lift a little bit so that it doesn't slide up, or put a little more wheel into it.
Yeah.
Tire wear isn't that bad here. So, you know what I mean? It's probably not that bad, but it does scruff down a little bit of speed. So myself, like I said, I prefer to be on the high groove, just because the downside to being on the high groove is when the accident happens, everybody goes to the top first. But and the downside on the bottom, usually sometimes you can miss that. But to me, I have trouble getting off 2 on this track with this current setup, and I prefer to be middle or high myself.
Mm-hmm. Benjamin Snyder asks in the YouTube chat, who's driving Kodak? I believe that's Shalinsky in the 94.
Yes, it is. Dale Shalinsky in the 94. New car for tonight. A few new car for him. Perry Bond's in a new car tonight. Nate Balzer in a different ride. I don't think I've seen him in that car maybe before, but not over here. So.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean we're encouraging everybody to go get new cars next week.
Yeah, probably black, right? Oh no, right. He was running the orange JBL. Yeah.
Yep.
Coming up with some lap traffic here.
Last week he has been in the monster cars, so being Chuck Taylor out there in the monster car as well, so decided to go to his JBL car. Billy Elliser going a lap down. Unfortunate for him. Currently is in the top 10 points. Having a bad night is not a good thing for him. He needs to keep up that good momentum that he has had. And that bottom line was gaining a little bit, was running good. It kind of seemed to have lost a little bit of that go. Greg Palmer's starting the third line on the outside. Mark Paglia, Stephen Brandsetter, Doug Hillick back there. Zielinski's back there. Cody Lamas is kind of trying to figure out which way he wants to go. So with Dale, looks like Terry Bombard's going to go to the bottom.
Yeah, they're kind of getting sorted out back there.
Well, the thing of it is, you know, do you want to sit around here riding around in two lines? You're not going to go forward that much. You know, you might be able to go a little bit forward, doing stuff like what you saw Denny Carroll there. You know, changing lines when it's appropriate. But it doesn't always mean that that's going to work. You look at Denny Carroll. If he'd have stayed where he was, he'd be in that middle groove. You know, up further. You know, that was a decision that he made that didn't work. You know, but it's hard. You got to go where they're not, and that's, you know, third groove on the outside. If you can get enough people up there, get that momentum built up, you know, we've seen it happen. We've seen them go to the front.
That's the thing, guys. We'll run single file, and, you know, if nobody wants to go with you, some nights are just like that, though. Sometimes, oh, there's Ross and big move down to the bottom. We're just watching from helicopter cam here, trying to get the whole field in view. Some guys, you know, some nights it's just, you know, two lines all day long, one line all day long, and other times it's like right now you can see there's lots of space out there. These guys are just trying to figure out where they want to go. A little bit disorderly in the middle of the pack, actually. We've got Perry Bond, Zielinski seems to be slipping around a lot. I don't know what's happening there. He might be on a keyboard, I'm not sure.
Greg Palmer really needs Pagula and Brandstetter and Doug Hillick to just start pushing each other on the straightaways. Get that, you know, get in there, get into that bumper of that car, and give them a little bit of help down that straightaway. They're staying nice and, you know, in line, but they're not doing much pushing. Granted, it's early enough in the race, but they got to do that. Ooh, have big changes around there. Yep,
I was going to say Rawson was just catching that draft. That's going to allow him to catch it now because they're all checking up.
Greg so Palmer and Mark Paglia just decided to get out of that high groove down to the middle, you know, when they saw a chance to get down there, because, you know, they start losing people. It slows it, you know, slows that line down. It's funny too, is you'll see, like we see Brian Rosson going on the outside there, Rosson going on the outside.
Perry smacked the wall.
If he could stay up there
onto it, though.
Doing that, you'll see guys pull out in front of him, but every time they do, if they don't do it quite right, they end up slowing that whole line down.
New leader Rodney Sullins.
Ooh, there we go. Nice.
He's got 6 laps led. I've been up and down all night. I guess I haven't really been. There's a lot of stuff going on out here. It's hard to see it all.
He wasn't kind of keeping track of the front there and what was going up there. We were kind of watching, you know, the stuff in the back there.
Yeah.
See Chris Van Vliet down there at the bottom. He's kind of gotten that inside line moving forward a little bit. Slow, but he's gaining a little bit by little bit down there.
We were talking about paint jobs in the happy hour there, how, you know, like, you know, 38 to 22, Dante in the 84, like some really cool, like really layered up, you know, paint schemes. And then you've got Van Vliet. I'm a big fan of that too. You know, a white car with some green on it. Like the simple cars, it's hard to make a simple car look sharp because if you tend not to do a lot, it's a good design choice too, you know. Very simple car, it stands out.
Dennis Chambers, famous for that.
Yep.
His car right now is black, yellow with yellow numbers.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. He doesn't go for the super flashy. But anybody that knows Dennis Chambers and raced against him, you know, he don't care about that because he's a very, very good strategist, very smart racer. You know, always thinking, always trying to figure out a way that he can, you know, get himself up there and, you know, get to a position where he can win the race.
Yeah, again, a good, simple, effective car paint. And man, I always go back to Chambers. There was that one race where he won it.
Yep.
On like 2 pit stops. It was crazy how he made that work. He just ran 15 mile an hour slower than everybody else all night and ended up doing it.
And I think he said he ran 2-3 laps at the beginning of the race, full song, and then started clutching going into the corners. All he was doing was saving fuel.
And he was running a lot slower than everybody else, where it was almost like, I wonder what's going on. I wonder if there's a problem. I wonder if there's an issue. No, he did that the entire race, and everybody had to make 3 stops, and he only had to make 2.
Yeah.
And they were catching him near the end, but he was still, a good cushion just by doing that. It's a wild strategy. Runs slow and steady, wins the race. It wasn't Talladega though. He would have got left behind if he did it here.
Don't know how he did. I should go take a look at that. I don't know how he did on Wednesday, because as Brian talked about earlier about the Wednesday night ASR Open Cup Series, I run in that over there, and second stage, I finished third, he finished second, and we were working together really, really good over there, and I like racing against Dennis. He's a great driver, smooth driver, all around good driver, but like I said, great strategist.
And the Wednesday series too, it's a lot of fun because they mimic the actual NASCAR schedule.
Yep.
So every week you get a fresh track. Nothing wrong with Talladega. We love this stuff. We broadcast it all the time. It's a huge fan favorite. You get massive car turnouts. But I mean, how many guys did you have there at Atlanta last week on Wednesday? Probably 20 to 30.
We had 12 to 13. That's why we need to get some more drivers there. But
see, that's a good field too, though. Like 15 is good.
It was a great field. Great group of guys, a good field. I said open setup, so like Brian said, it's a challenge. He showed up, didn't have a setup. I threw a Volker Hackman setup in, did about 35 laps, and it was running right there with the guys, up front. Unfortunately, on the last restart that I got to start in, I made a mistake. I went across ASR HUD's nose, and that spun me out. It wasn't his fault; it was my own. And then unfortunately, I forget the guy's name again that I went into, but the 66, I went up right in front of him, and hopefully I didn't ruin his night, but it did take care of mine. So.
Right. Yeah, and I helped Andrew at Top Dragster, another broadcasting channel here on YouTube. Check out Top Dragster. He broadcasts for Hobo, who have now joined forces with AOR, American Online Racing, and they do open on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
So they're direct competition with us with Maverick, because Maverick operates on Tuesdays also, but they run open set. And phenomenal race, man. Yeah. Because because we've talked about guys, you were talking about it before, how guys like to run loose, guys like to run tight. Everybody's got a different style of driving. You're kind of hooked when you come into a race like this tonight, because we're running fixed.
Yep.
The administrators choose a setup to apply to every car, and the only thing you can really do in the garage is change your steering ratio. It kind of relates to your steering wheel or your controller, or just how you like the car to move. Other than that, your pit stall options are how much gas are you taking and how many tires are you taking, and you're kind of stuck. Where when you go into an open, if you like to run tight and you set that thing up to run the way you need it, everybody was out there just locked in. It was really cool to watch.
We saw a little change there. Brian Russon, Greg Palmer, and Mark Paglia pulled down in front of Chris Van Leek. That moved that bottom line and got it trucking. And as they got up in there, Rodney Sullins, Kelly Kaza, and Tim Knopfler all pulled down on the inside line. So now the outside line's going backwards. It changes that quickly. I miss racing over there with Hopeful Racing. Herman Reese, Jeff Stekenis. There's a great group of guys over there. A lot of fun. I've actually won races over there in the open setup, but not usually due to speed. It was always fuel mileage.
Yeah, and that's cool that ASR has an open set league, or an open set series. Sorry. So yeah, Wednesday nights, come on down, and make those changes. And the pit stops tend to be really cool too, because we were talking setups with guys in these open races that we call, and it's neat to see the strategy that they use.
Yep.
In situations like, what did you do when you came down to the pits that time? And like, oh man, I put 2 pounds of wedge in it, or track bar or whatever. And I'm like, man, that sounds like a lot. They're like, well, yeah, when I was only going to take half a can of fuel. I'm like, oh yeah, because the amount of fuel you put in the car affects the weight of the car.
Yep.
So if you're only coming in at the end of a run and you're taking less fuel and then you want to tighten the car up and blah, 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 you got the wedge, you got the track
Most of
bar,
them-
drop 3 pounds out of the left rear. Like they can do all these things relating to how much fuel you're putting on.
But you know what?
It's crazy how it all comes together. I love it.
Most of the time, you will not do a track bar adjustment or anything like that on a late caution like that, unless it's really, really bad. Due to the fact that if you're taking less fuel, that turning of that wrench on that car adds about a half a second to your pit stop. So what you want to do is you want to do air pressure changes. So they have that all done. They just bolt them on.
Right, if you're putting, yeah, right, okay, so you can make
Then you
tire
just slap a
pressure
piece of tape
adjustments
on it.
if they're ready to go, they just throw their tires on. They're not doing that live.
No! Going down pit road, we had 3 cars there that went down pit road.
Yeah, are you live?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I didn't,
You're
I just saw it.
watching
I saw it on the thing there.
Gotcha, yeah, like a 15-second delay to the broadcast window. Yeah, it was,
Robert Spring and Brian Brush.
yeah, here comes the
Mike
majority
Brush.
now.
There comes a bunch more.
Yeah, Brush got
That's
out of
about
shape a
everybody,
little bit.
right?
Pretty much.
A few that stayed out.
Yeah, looks like we got Greg Level in the 880, the 510 Brandstetter, 48 Lamas. These guys will probably be pitting next time through.
They're all tagging up now. 21's pitting. Cody Almas is pitting. Dennis Chambers. So now this will mix it up a little bit. You know, you obviously, Robert Spring's probably going to lose a little bit of time with the contact with him and Brush, but depends. It really depends too, because there goes the rest of the field in. So they could come out all in back together, or they could end up coming out and, you know, being separated all over the place. It really, you know, just depends on how good of a pit stop you have.
Right. The green flag pit stops are cool, especially when there's massive packs of cars coming in, because these guys will be fine as long as they can, you know, get a good pit stop. Don't overshoot your stall. You know, you'll see guys overshoot their stall on under yellow, which is fine. But you do not want to do that here, because if you got to put that thing in reverse, that is not going to be fun.
Tim Noster had a great pit stall, but he got out a little bit too far. Kelly Caza, Mark Paglia, they are going to stay right behind. Yep, they're going to stay behind him and push him along. That's going to slow that line down a little bit, but that's okay. They just got out there pretty good. We'll look to see where they all come into play when, you know, 3 different groups. Like Dennis Chambers is just leaving the pits now, where the guys in front of them that are out there further, they're just getting up to speed. They're going to steamroll right by them guys. As you see Cody Lamas leading that group, they're starting to build up that speed. They can get in behind Dante Ricky. They might be there. They may have enough close enough to be able to reach out and grab them guys and go.
That pack flew by those guys, but
Yeah.
they're going to be able to latch on to the back.
The Dale Slinsky's going back down pit road. He might have had a speeding penalty. I believe
Shalinsky,
Noster's-
Bond, and Palmer, all 3 of them have to serve penalties.
Let's see, I think Noster's going to be the leader, and he is. He was the first one off pit road. Luckily, the guys behind him just elected not to just roll by him. They got behind him and started pushing. Now, that could be a good strategy call on Kelly Casa's part right there, too, because Noster's breaking all that wind, using up all that fuel. Everybody behind him is saving fuel. They can go a little bit more distance in their laps than he will be able to. No, they can't make the distance without one more pit stop, so...
22 being shown the blacks. It looks like he's going to go down. Oh, man, we're being shown the black flag. You're going to have to come down pit road. And the remaining one, Palmer's right there. And I think it was Van Vliet. Who did I say? No. Shalinsky.
I think Shalinsky was 1.
Yeah, there was 3. I can't already remember what I said.
Okay.
Bond. Yeah, it was Bond. It was Perry, because he's out there all by himself.
Okay.
So yeah. Well, you know what? Those three guys might end up finding each other. It's weird how that works. We'll follow Perry right now. We'll see, because he's gonna possibly be able to line up with the 22. Where is the 22?
Well, currently, right now, we got a 13-car breakaway. 13 cars out there in line.
Greg Palmer has been disqualified.
Maybe he didn't serve it quick enough.
He didn't. Yeah, he came down pit road, but he might have gone over the 3-lap threshold. They might have pulled the pin on him.
Then you've got Garland Oaks, Terry Babard, and Mike Mangialardi back there, 3 cars in line, about a little over 6 seconds back. And then you have David Chin, Robert Spring, Dave Little, Dennis Chambers.
Did you say Mangialardi?
Yeah.
He's
Oh,
been
no,
retired.
Brian Wolf. Brian Wolf. That's right.
Oh, I see. 29, yeah.
29, you got to get used to that. And then Steve Branstetter is the last one in that group. And then everybody else is, like Perry Bond's out there kind of by himself.
Yeah, Bond had to
is
serve
Chuck
apparently, yeah.
Chuck T's out there by himself. We got a few other ones that are lapped down, but some of those, I think they're all still running, so.
Like with the Wolf Pack there, you got 3 cars though. I mean, they're able to keep speed. That's a good thing. If you're not in the main unit here, if a brouhaha tends to go down, they've got lots of time to figure out how to get through it. And you're also running with a couple of buddies, 3-car pack. You're able to keep your speed up too, so you're not really going to get lapped too quick.
No, but the thing of it is these guys in the front, if they were running side by side, they might be able to run them down. They're just running nose to tail right now. They're just basically just letting the laps just run through.
Yeah.
Pretty much, just let the laps run through and, just worry about it a little bit later. The next pit stop, maybe they can, the guys that are better at the pit stops can get through in and out and get it done and even separate them some more.
Yeah, and you can see there on the ticker, Garland Oaks, Bombard, Brian Wolf. And they got Chin Spring, Little Chambers. There's little packs around here. Greg Palmer now says retired, but it did say disqualified.
It would get him. He wouldn't be kicked out of the server. He'd just been kicked out of the race. So after that happens, he's probably just pulled out and left there.
Yeah.
Perry Bond going. I think he is just going a lap down. I'm not sure here. Yes, he just went a lap down.
Yeah, he will. Yeah, that's 1 lap down for him now. Yeah, and he's not damaged or anything. He just had a penalty to serve, probably speeding on pit road.
The advantage for him is he can stay right where he is as long as he can stay hooked to that back of that pack, which he should be able to do. He's just got to get his momentum up a little bit. They all go by him. You don't just flick a switch to be lucky dog at current. So I'm curious. He's not really keeping up. Let's see what happens when he hits the line. We won't know that. We don't have that information because he is.
I just had a weird spike. I got YouTube saying it's not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. I looked down at the broadcast software. Somehow I'm sending 8,000 kilobits per second. That's the high definition quality.
It's not.
It was like triple that. It was like 21,000 kilobits per second. I'm like, that's too much data. I don't know what that was. That's such a crazy spike to go the other way. Go up instead of down. Yeah, YouTube can't take that much bit rate.
It's technical
stuff. So I apologize to anybody watching if it's acting weird. It'll stabilize.
It's kind of funny. Rodney Sullivan's just made a little bit of a weird move. But it's kind of funny to see these guys doing this up here in the front. We've not seen them do this all year. Usually pretty much running, side by side. These guys up front, to me, it's kind of a smart strategy per se. Mm-hmm. They're gapping themselves from everybody else. And they know they have to make one more pit stop, so it's kind of like, okay, let's just run single file to the next pit stop, and then we'll figure it out after that. Yeah, let's gap these guys, everybody behind us, and then we'll go make a pit stop. And your hope is that you're going to pit in there because we know there's going to be 2 different groups that'll pit. pretty good chance, depending on when they decide to pit too. There's a pretty good chance that they're going to have two separate groups, and you just hope that your group goes in, gets out smooth, and gets a little bit of a breakaway and has enough time and distance to stay out there where nobody else can catch you.
Just currently focused on the secondary pack led by Garland Oaks. So you got Garland Oaks, Terry Bombard, Brian Wolf, David Chin, Robert Spring, Dave Little, Dennis Chambers, like you were talking about before. These guys are doing the same thing. They're also running nose to tail.
Yep.
They're not as tight as that main pack, but this is kind of what they're doing. I think they're just biding their time until they get that next set of pit stops down.
You watch the first three cars, Tim Hofstetter, Kelly Kaza, Mark Paglia, and I'm going to throw Rodney Sullins into that mix. When they're down the straightaways, there's not a gap in between all four of them. They are just pushing for everything they're worth. Kelly Kaza's pushing him right now, going down through the little short chute there after the start-finish line.
You'll be able to see the space between these cars with this camera angle here, like Rod's talking about.
So basically, that's, the guys behind them, it doesn't really matter because, they're the draft is helping. You can do that, but you get more cars involved in it. You end up having a few more problems. But these guys up front, they're just nose to tail pushing each other down that straightaway. That's making up the difference.
And all four of those guys right there were about 200, 202 miles an hour going down that straightaway.
That's making the difference in this group. That second group that's being led by Garland Oaks, he's got to get Terry Bavard. He's got to get Brian Wolf. They've got to be pushing. They've got to be, putting the bumper right to them. Other than that, they're just going to keep losing time.
Mm-hmm. Now, they've got some lap traffic that might actually help them here right now because these guys aren't damaged. They're just off pace. So that could help the cause. I know Bond isn't damaged. I don't believe Perry is damaged. He just had to serve a penalty.
Like the lead cars right now are coming up on Steven Brandstetter on the high side there. Like I said, it doesn't matter that they've, it's great that they've got, after about 6 to 8 cars, it really doesn't matter. You know what I mean? But the problem is they've got to be pushing. They just can't. They can't go on their laurels of just running nose to tail. They've got to, at least the first 3 cars have got to be pushing to keep that front part moving faster. That's the part that's breaking the wind and pulling the rest of the train. They got to make sure that they're doing that.
Yeah, the 088 of Tim Nofska right there, leading this thing, currently has 12 laps led. And most laps led so far tonight, Rodney Sullins with 16, so he's creeping. Get those bonus points if you lead the most laps in a race. Other lap leaders tonight, Kelly Kazi with 5, Greg Lovell with 3. And then, who else is there? There's 6 laps led by Dante Ricky. Brian Rawson.
They're picking it up in the front a little bit.
Cody Lamas have 1 each.
You got going on? Pitting. Nope. Okay, no, I thought maybe they were pitting the way they broke it up there.
Yeah.
Mark Paglia decided to go down and try to see if he can get up there and go up front and try to lead a lap. Hofstetter's the only one that went down in front of him. That left Kaza, Rodney Sullins and Brian Osan on the outside, and they are probably going to go back to the back of this pack. Now, this is good news for that second pack for a little while at least. But they still, they need to be pushing like we talked about to be able to catch up.
I'm monitoring that second pack, and you can see it on your screen to the left. Those guys have slowly been dropping. They were about 11 seconds from the leader. Garland in the 67 was 11 seconds from the leader. Now he's just shy of 15 seconds from the leader. So they are actually, this main pack is actually pulling away from that second pack.
So
not
far,
as fast as they would be if you were by yourself. So they are lucky to be running together, but they're not running, like you're saying, they're not running optimal.
Tight enough.
Yeah.
Not tight enough. So far, right now, the fastest lap's been put down by Robert Spring, and I know that was early in the race, so I would have thought that might have been taken over, but 202.775 miles an hour.
Damn.
He must have had a situation where he caught a really, really good draft.
Couple of good bumps, yeah.
Yeah.
There was a race we were calling. I think it was a Thursday race. There was someone with a 204.
Wow.
I've never seen, I think it was a 204. I've never seen that. I've seen 203 a couple times. I believe it was a 204. It might have been a 203, but it was crazy. I'm like, man, that's an average speed around the track.
And that happens where you've got someone like, you use an example. You got Kelly's Kaza right now that's currently going on the, out on the high side up there. They lost Brian Rosson. He pulled down, but in the first opening he could. You drop back from the pack a little bit. You got somebody, maybe even a couple of cars behind you pushing you, and you make that. You have to make up that distance, and you do that by not only being in the draft but having somebody pushing you from behind. And because of that gets you a little bit more speed. That's how somebody gets those speeds that are averaged over that, is just because through the whole lap they're going a lot faster.
Yeah, you're catching those perfect pockets of that little bit of that, like that rubber band effect you're talking about, where you're gaining it and you're not really losing much of it, and then you get it again. If you can get that a couple times in one lap, it really does add up. Focus on Paglia here in second place, looking at that rear spoiler, Tim Knopfsker in the 088.
Just trying to see, keep an eye. Whoops, here we go. Dante Ricky is pitting this time by.
Okay.
He is the fourth place car is pitting. I'm curious to see if any more are going to come out with him.
And they will be able to make it to the end from here.
Yep.
This can get you, a pit stop with a full tank and get you 19 laps, and this is going to be about 16 to go. So, you
can see everybody pulling up. Okay, so Doug Hill. Okay, the top four are pitting right now. They did not post it.
Oh, Paglia and
a few others.
Could Knopfsker get a bump? Like, could he get a charge for speeding for that?
Yes, if you could.
Yeah.
Remember, they are allowed to hot pit. Now, we've talked about this a little bit, but hot pitting is when you hit that line at the end of pit road, the speed limit is 55 miles an hour. Not to exceed that. Dennis Chambers will be pitting this time by, I believe. Robert Spring. They're a bunch. Cody Lamas, a bunch of them are pitting in this time. Brian Wolf is. Well, you hit the end of that pit road there, as you can see everybody coming down there on pit road on the broadcast. You got to be doing 55 at that line. Well, you can hot pit, which means you can slide in there on the brakes, not on the gas, and roll in for quite a while until you get down to 55, let off the brake, then just kind of roll the gas back on and go down to the speed. And you can do it and gain a lot of time. But mess up a little bit, you can get caught for speeding. So it's a fine line.
Yeah, we just saw there Denny tagged the inside wall and actually shot out and bumped. Oh, we got a bunch of cars wrecking on the entrance of pit road here. And he bumped Denny bumped the 79, spun the 79 around. Yellow's out. So that's a good break for the 79. Nate Balser, because he's allowed to make his pit stop and take service because the yellow came out while he was on pit road.
Yep.
Pits are closed, but if you were already in pits, you're fine. And he got spun around, which would have been horrible under green flag condition, but yellow comes out, so that's a big break for the 79 Nate Balser. We'll back that up and see what happens.
Going to shake things up a little bit because they do race back. So it looks...
Yeah, they do. Sorry, I keep forgetting that. Yeah.
So, well, the thing about it, too, though, is you got to think, okay? So right now, currently, all right, Dennis Chambers is the leader. Why? Right. Because he got off pit road. When you come off the end of pit road, you don't have to go but maybe 25 feet, and you hit the start-finish line. He got there before Tim Noster did. So that will put him, he passed that line before Tim Noster did. And then, Kelly Kaza's back there, and then David Chin's third, Dave Little. So all these guys that pitted at that time were out front, and then when they come up, they don't even have to really get up to speed till they get to the start-finish line. They take over the lead.
So there's going to be black flags for some of these cars here. I'm just checking. 67 was the first car in that pack. We saw the flag man pull the red flag out. So if Garland pits, that would be black flag for him. He does not, so he'd be all right. Because he wasn't in there before they closed the pits down. So he did the right thing and just drove right through. If he has enough gas to get back around, that's the trick. Right. I've been in that same situation where you just have to pit into a closed pit because you don't have enough fuel to make it. And a tow would take longer. So it looked like Perry Bond was actually the car. He got up on his headlights.
Well, I'm not sure, how that all worked out too. Like I said, this is what we saw. So it ended up being Tim Noster is going to be your leader, Cody Lama second. Denny Carroll's going to be in third. But you got you're mixed up in line too, so it just seems weird.
Rodney Sullins and Mark Paglia are both being shown black flags as well.
So it's sorry about that. It is Greg Lovell in the lead, 880, and we got a 088. So I got to get used to them two numbers there. I looked at the number, not the car.
Yeah,
so it's Greg Lovell, then Cody Lamas, then Denny Carroll, and then Tim Noster. You've got Perry Vaughn, Bobby Farrell, and Billy Eisler out in front of them guys. They'll probably take a wave around. I don't know if they pitted yet or not, too. So if they had, and they were stuck in that position, I believe they'll take the wave around. And let's see. Who is a lucky dog? It should be, in theory, Steve Brandstetter and Chuck T. So Taylor should be. I don't know, but that could change. Depending on where it was when it came out.
So if Mark Paglia and Rodney Sullins are being shown black flags right now, they might have pit in a closed pit. What's the penalty for that? Just end of the line?
Yeah.
Right. Because there's nothing you could do. You can't pit and take service because it's yellow. It doesn't count.
Well, once you're on, it's the thing about this game that I've never really been a fan of is if you made it onto pit road before the line, because if you go in before the line, obviously it's an end longest line penalty. If you're on pit road under a yellow flag, a green flag condition, and you didn't get to your pit stall first, it's an end of longest line penalty. There's nowhere you could get off of pit road. That seems a little bit weird to me. That goes that way. But if you're in your pit stall and already getting service and the yellow flag comes out, there's no penalty for you. That happens. There is what a lot of people call a glitch in this game. Certain tracks, Talladega is usually not one of them because of the size of the track. It never really happens. But so at some tracks, let's say you go in and you pitted and you got your tires, you come out, and just as you come out and you go down the pits of you get out on the track and you come around and you're almost back to the start finish line and the caution comes out and I'm still on pit road, but and I drive down pit road and I come out, well, I haven't passed the pace car yet. You see what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
So what happens there, not where you pit, but what happens is you decide, well, you've got to pit, okay? So you go back and pit. I come out. Sometimes we've had it where lap the whole field because your spotter's telling you pass the pace car.
Right.
You go out, you pass the pace car, you put the whole field a lap down, and everybody's like, what? You have to go pit, whatever. Just it's just like a glitch in the game that that it happens. Some leagues will say, well, if this happens, you are not to pass the pace car. You basically leave your pit stall, you go out, and you blend in wherever you blend in. So other leagues
let the game run it.
Let leagues let the game run it, and that's your luckiest day ever because, and you do not have to you've got everybody a lap down and you get yourself in a pretty good position. I'm not sure. Okay, so yeah, Billy Elliser and Brandstetter are going to be your lucky dogs here.
Yep, you can see them off to the left there beside Don Davis, our pace car driver. Once he crosses this line, the lights will go off. Those guys will go for it.
Yeah.
Get their 2.66 miles back. And both of them will be back on the lead lap, putting their lead lap cars up to 22 cars on the lead lap. And then cars that are lapped down, Chuck Taylor, Dale Shalinski, Billy Elliser, Bobby Farrell, and Mike Brush. Cars that are retired, Greg Palmer, Chuck McClure, Robert Breedlove, and Mike Mangialardi.
Well, we're going to have probably, I don't know, pretty close to 12, 13 laps to go. And are you looking at who's in second place right now?
Cody Lamas. Yep. Not Alpaca. Llama.
Where'd he come from, guy?
Every week.
Every week. He was running, in the mid-pack-ish around all night long, and now it's getting down to it, and all of a sudden he's out front. Now, not saying he's going to win again, but, chances are pretty good.
Actually, he's won 2 in a row last 2 weeks.
Yeah. That was my point.
And we've said the same thing going, oh, there's Cody.
Last week, all of a sudden it was getting down to it, and he was on the outside groove leading a pack of cars. Got up near the front, some quick jockey and moving around, and lo and behold, he was our leader.
So other broadcasters like Seth Cole, Michael Norman, names we do not speak, they have, just joking, they have nicknames for guys like Randy Waluigi, Mike Bangialardi was what? Mike, man, I'm really having a party or something. I can't remember what Norman calls him. But we could call Cody Lamas Cody Alpacas.
There you go. All right, pace car makes the trip down pit road. Like I said, I would say it's going to be probably about 12 laps-ish when we get ready to go.
Cody paints his own cars, and his Lamas paints is actually a silhouette of a llama. So that's pretty cool. He understands how his name's spelled. He's playing with it. Very cool logo design.
Greg Lovell gets a heck of a shot from, there's about an even start, but Greg Lovell got a heck of a shot from Denny Carroll in the back there.
I was going to say, Cody got a pretty good one there from Nofsker.
Too good of one, because that bottom groove's going to start rolling away.
Yeah.
Nofsker didn't stick with him like Denny Carroll did.
Nofsker shot him so far ahead that he's now created an extra, oh, here he comes again.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
That was going to probably happen. Here, Denny Carroll, I know everybody out here wants to win, but if you're Denny Carroll, 2 races to go after this, you're in second place, maybe third. Stay right there, push Greg Lovell all you can.
And this just in, David Chinn's still running. I shouldn't have said it out loud.
Oh, no. And they hit the right button. And he's in the top 12.
Yeah. Some black flags being shown, but those are irrelevant because of the way we start this, that those flags will be cleared by administrators. I don't know why I even bother mentioning that, because they're not shown on the broadcast, but there goes Denny Carroll to the high side. He's not going to sit there and push his buddy Greg Lovell up there. He is going to go to try to win this thing himself. If you're the points leader and you go out and you win, nobody's going to catch you. You win every week. Yeah. Look at that, man. Like Carroll, right up front of Lamas, getting that push to the front. Back down again. Look at that move, though. He goes up to go around, and now he's in front.
10 to go.
Wow.
He's gonna and 9 to go. He is gonna play the field now.
Oh,
so watch. He's gonna be driving out of that rear view mirror more than he is that front.
Yeah,
and
he's not.
The thing is,
yep.
I'm wondering if Greg Lovell will just stay there. I'm gonna look at the points real quick.
We're almost 3 or 4 wide right there. Holy moly, Lamas getting stuck in the middle. We are 4 wide. Almost 4 wide. Rawson checked up to take that 4 wide situation out of play there. That was going to get real tight. Wow.
About it. Greg Lovell is back in 37th position. Only thing he's going to do is, if he wins, is, bragging rights.
Yeah.
Does he stay right there and try to make sure that Denny Carroll, gets out there and wins this championship?
Was it last week that Denny had a really bad race? I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember where he finished. But he still finished in the mid-pack. But yeah, he did not have a great race last week.
We were saying, he's got to come back with a good one, and then look where he is now, row 1.
Yep.
Like you were saying before, he's not, and now he's the puppeteer, because he can race out of that rear view and just kind of, and he's good at reading momentum. He's been up here before, so if he sees Nofsker coming with Van Vliet and Kazi,
Greg Lovell get a little bit of help there. Watch
this.
Watch
lots of tarmac.
Never, ever lifted and lost very little time. That is what we call Greg Lovell at his best.
Yeah, and they looked like they were going to almost go 4 wide again when Lovell came back up.
I've seen that happen with Lovell so many times, and he just That never lifts, just keeps that thing rolling. Unfortunately, Danny Carroll's going to lose the lead out of that. Doug Hillick's going to take over the lead. Ooh, Nosser down the bottom.
Where did Hewlett come from? That's another one. Like, what? Man, yeah, like that happening to level where it happened was a great spot because it's all paved down there. He caught a little bit of grass, I think, but you can definitely drive it. 23 to the lead.
Roddy and Sullivan's getting that high line going to see what they can do. We're creeping down to 6 laps left to go here. Got to get that momentum built up. Now Paglia and Brian Brasson starting something up in there. They got Billy Iser behind them on the trying to see if they can get a third line going. Time to go. I mean, you got to go where they're not at now. So I think Denny Carroll's probably just keeping an eye on Kelly Kaza. He wants to see if he's going to get up there. If he can get up there and get him to push him towards the front.
I think that'll be a move. Yeah, if Kelly can get the Sullins, Wah, Chin, get that line moving. Somebody in that front 5 or 6 is going to make a lane change.
Got it. And I think you're going to see Denny Carroll do it. I think if it stays the way it is, he's got no help. He's got, probably nobody around him that's going to go with him. I think you'll see Denny Carroll just say, all right, third's good. That helps me out on the points. But if there's any momentum coming or Dante starts pushing him and he thinks he's going to stay with him, he'll go up, pop out there and go for it.
It depends on when and if Kelly can make it up there. Like right there would be a good time for level to go. Look at Ricky's doing. Okay, so
Dante Ricky went to the high side.
Yep. I gotta have to check up a little bit.
Watch that high line's going to lose a little momentum for a minute just because Ricky went up there. See, you can already see, you knew that Danny Carroll was headed that way. Greg Lovell went with him. I know these guys draft a lot together themselves. Hit the line. 4 more laps to go.
Yep, there's Carroll to the front. I don't believe he led that one.
No, Doug Hillick led that lap, but Danny Carroll's back out front now. Down with about 4 laps to go. He's got control of it now. I really think that Lovell's working with him.
It appears to be, but look at Ricky pulls out in front of Kazi, and now look where he is, right up there beside him.
They're too high to where Carroll can't make the move. He's probably hollering on that radio, telling Lovell, push, push, push.
Okay, and Kazi knows how to do it.
Oh, yeah.
Balser out of shape on the apron. Saved it again. A lot of really good saves tonight, man. Holy moly. Hewlett would probably
Danny Carroll gets a little out of shape off the bumper of Greg Lovell, just a little bit. That slowed that inside line down. Rodney Sullins on the high side, Paglia with him, Brisson, Elliser,
there comes Sullins.
Spring, all kind of.
That top line led by Rodney Sullins just gained about 4 cars or 4 rows, man.
Dante Ritchie pulled out of that middle line when he did. He pulled down there. That slowed that line down a little bit.
Rodney in the middle.
Wow. These guys are making moves left and right.
All at 200 mile an hour. Well, sorry, 197. What was I thinking? And then Hewlett makes a move in front of Rodney. So Rodney, see, I'm always afraid, I was saying that before, come into that middle row, you're always wondering, like, okay, if I'm on the top and I'm going to the middle, I hope the guy on the bottom's not thinking the same thing, because then you're going to get into an accident situation because you can't really see sometimes.
I got to say, watch Danny Carroll. He's going to watch that high line.
Yep.
Not coming as of yet. It's not getting up there. He's just starting to get where he's starting to make up a little bit of time. I think as soon as Carroll moves up there, Ricky's going to go right up there in front of him. So,
how fast it all happens, eh? Like we've got cars, like David Chin was right up there in the second row. Now he's back about 6th row. But you know what? Ricky came to the front.
Who to go?
The 41 of Carroll was at the front. Then he was back in 10th, and now he's back to the front again. He's in 2nd. All within about 5 laps.
Hillick got up there. Hillick is right beside Greg Lovell. So if that line goes, ooh!
There he goes. He's choosing high.
Ricky went up there.
Big push. He might actually change his mind and go back down. Yeah. because there's a big gap between the 38 and the 23.
Gonna
Ricky's
go where the
using
momentum is.
old flames. Dante Ricky from the front line here.
He could black out that windshield right now, and it would make a bit of difference because he's only looking in that rear view mirror.
He's got no paint left on that rear bumper, man. The 41's rubbed it all off.
Last lap here.
Yep. White flag in the air. 2 miles to go.
Dante Ricky's got that bottom pretty much figured out.
2 and a bit.
Denny Carroll can't go to the high side as of yet if he wanted to. Now he can. But does he want to? I mean, this is going to be... Oh, yeah. So,
look at Ricky, man. He's
goes
made...
to the high side, goes to the low side.
Ricky's made more lane changes in the last 3 minutes than a soccer mom on her way to Starbucks.
Yeah.
He's got a big gap there now. That might be a bad thing.
Might be. We'll see what happens. Can Denny Carroll have anywhere to go?
23. It's not going to have enough. It's going to be Ricky.
Right. Here you go.
Look at that.
Winner tonight, Dante Ricky.
Wow, guys. There goes David Chin. He's not getting out of here with a clean car, but he did finish a race.
That is awesome, though. What a finish, though.
Fantastic race tonight. Holy moly, boys.
Doug Hewitt comes out in the 3rd spot tonight. That's pretty good. I didn't know who, what, where. Just the only one guy that had the control of it there was Dante Ricky, and he just kept it going, kept it straight. And
Where's Dante? I lost him.
He's
there
on
he
the
is.
backstretch.
I had the flag on the wrong car.
Oh, boy.
I was focused on the 41 because he gave me the best angle on that camera, and then I flipped over to my race winner screen. So I apologize to the 84. I was late to the party on that one. Congratulations to the 84 of Dante Ricky on your win.
Yes, sir.
I mean, calling these races, you know, you're like, okay, cool, you're watching, you're going. Like this one seemed, I was like right up in my chair on the edge of the seat. It was something about that run, that last 20 laps there after that last pit stop, that was just so much going on. And then it comes down to a pretty simple finish. You know, everybody just sort of crossed the line. There was no photo finish. It was a great race.
Pretty awesome.
Jersey Milks, or what does it say? Since 1944? No, let's check this out. Trying to get a word of the sponsor. Can't see it. Since 1956, Jersey Mike Subs.
Which car is that? Dante?
Dante, yeah.
I have that one. So you have to send that one to me.
That's a cool looking car, man. Well, you'll see it now. Well, maybe you'll see it now. I can't see it. There's so much smoke.
Lost it in all the smoke.
Yeah. Somebody called the fire department.
See, I can watch the replay of it. No, I lost it.
A really cool car. Another great simple paint job. It's a simple one, but it's great.
All right, well, let's see if we can find Doug Hillick here. Doug Hillick, you got Rod and Blaine in the booth. You got a copy.
Good evening, Rod. Good evening, Blaine.
Nice job tonight, buddy.
The old black flag car painted by Rodney Sellens was rolling.
Was rolling very, very well.
Yeah, I kind of, I'm learning. Still doing this racing thing and still learning what I do wrong every night.
Well, you know, that happens. I was just looking at the points. So you came in tonight 10th in points. You've made every race, not had the best of luck this year. I mean, you've always been kind of mid-pack, you know, running some races to the front, some getting caught up in some other messes that, you know, just weren't of your doing. But this is a pretty good boost for you. Unfortunately, you know, two of the guys in front of you are a little higher up in points than you are. But this should help you get quite a bit in points. You were 47 going in. You're only 17 behind Terry Bombard. A little over that to Nate Balzer. This should move you up at least in the top 6, maybe.
Well, that's pretty good. I'm having a banner year here at ASR.
We're glad to have you over here racing over here in ASR. But I just see, that last bit there, you did get the lead for a little bit. They just kind of hung you out a little bit. Then you got back up in there. And all in all, I mean, it's just a great night for you. You didn't get caught up in any of the few wrecks that we had, which is good. Fewer is always better than, more. But tell us a little bit more. Tell me what I'm missing about your night.
I've been trying to be a little bit more aggressive because I had a shot at winning a couple races this year, either here at RTG, and I missed the move. You're always waiting for that one move, and if you didn't get it, right after this race, Rodney tells me, "Oh, I wish you would have gone high and let the 84 in the middle to hang out, because Rodney would have gone with me, and I probably missed the opportunity to either come in second or first." So, the race itself was good. I had a nice pit with a bunch of other people. I'm getting better at the hot pitting thing. And, just stayed out of everything. I was happy. Stayed up toward the front.
Yeah, you can't complain with the third place finish here, unless you're, Cody Lamas, who's been winning a few of these, you know what I mean? But it's so hard. It amazes me how some of you guys, 30 laps to go, 20 laps to go, you're in 15th, 16th position, and then, we're kind of focused on a lot of the action that's happening, and then we turn around and look, and I'm like, oh, where'd he come from? And that's kind of, you, like I said, you ran decent most of the night. You led some, but you just all of a sudden, how you guys get from the back to the, towards the front at this stuff is always amazes me.
Yeah, there's definitely some magic to it and a little bit of luck, because I don't think I was ever really too far back tonight. I mean, I started 14th. I might have gone to 20th once, but you just get in the right pack. You make that right move to the outside. You get pushed up toward the front. Hopefully you're able to cut down, get to the middle lane. And, it's a game. It's fun.
Yeah.
Dude, don't forget the fantastic green flag pit stops you guys were having.
Yeah, I came in with Dante and Tim Nosker, and I know they know how to hot pit. So I'm like, okay, you got to pull this off here, and she rolled through, and I mean that was the same pit. I think Palmer got a black flag and Mark got a black flag. So
yeah,
I definitely held the brake enough that it was not going to affect that.
Yeah, if you gotta be able to do those green flag pit stops and not make mistakes, because there's so many small mistakes you can make on that. Just overshooting your pit, not hitting it right, even speeding on pit road, and but you got to get your speed up and getting in, getting out. That's just, you guys can make up so much time there. You have to do that to just to stay afloat, and that worked out really well for you.
That's for sure. I mean, you come in with a bunch of guys, and if you just happen to be a second behind them, and they're gonna pull away from you after they got up pit road, and you're gonna be 3 seconds behind them, and then they're gone.
Well, and sometimes too, pitting 2 laps later, or you know what I mean, stuff like that, can sometimes hurt and help you, just depending on how quickly you get in and out and how quickly everybody else organizes. The key.
Very true. Very true.
It's the key. It's not, yes, it's getting in, getting out, but it's how quick you guys get organized and get going. And you guys in that first, I think we counted 13 cars. The first 3 cars were just pushing. They were pushing down the straightaway. And then we had like 6 to 8 cars behind there, to gap back to you. And none of them were pushing. They weren't, they were staying in line, beautiful, but they just were not getting in that front car any pushes, getting them through the air and getting things faster, and they were losing almost a half a second a lap.
Yeah, you definitely got to punish whoever's out in front with some hits, nice gentle pushing, and that's really the only way you can stay lined up, like I said, but if you're not bumping and trying a little harder, you're going to fall back.
Blaine, do you have any questions for Doug?
Using this track, the version 4 from RTG that was modified by Godfrey. Usually it's only modified behind the scenes with the conveying files, but he actually like widened the pit road. Do you find yourself even noticing that you're using that extra space?
I mean, they both here and at RTG, they preach, come down, stay to the right, try to not go in the middle lane until you need to get over. We've probably been running this track a year now, so I don't notice it being any, it's normal now.
I wonder if it went back, it would get pretty tight, I think.
I believe that would be an issue, yes.
Yeah.
I like it, and John did a great job modifying it for us.
All right. Well, I want to congratulate you on your third place finish. We'll give you a chance to thank anybody that you want to. The floor is yours.
Thank Rodney for the paint. Number one thing, because I forget that all the time. Rodney does a great job for many cars, and the bug spray car looks good. Thank you, my wife. She doesn't understand me a lot of times, but women don't, and I love her. My daughter, I'm actually going to be a grandpappy for the first time. My daughter's about 3 months pregnant. She's due in August, so I'll be a grandpappy.
Awesome.
Might get like a stroller car or maybe a baby formula car.
You need like a Pampers diaper sponsor or
Pampers
something.
diaper car, yeah.
Some kind of crazy pablum.
The cruiser fit ones, yeah. That'll work.
Applesauce.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Shout out to my son Nolan up in North Dakota in the Air Force. God be with all the soldiers and everyone who's dealing with what's going on in the world today and tomorrow and in the future. And thank you both for putting this on for us.
Not a problem. Thank you. I like it when we get a new guy up here. Not necessarily. I've not raced with Doug for a long time, but I'm just being a newer guy up in the booth, in the top podium finishing, because it's funny how some guys have their thanking speeches and stuff, and that was probably one of the better ones. So good job, Doug.
Doug's
Appreciate you guys, man. Appreciate you, and I hope to visit you more often.
We do too. So congratulations on your third place finish, and the march up the points. You got 2 more races. I don't know if you're going to get up there to the championship, but let's see if you can at least try to make it up there in the top 3.
Excellent idea. I'll work on it.
All right, buddy. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks guys. Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah, being more aggressive worked.
Yes, it does.
I haven't talked to him in a while.
Howdy. You got Ron Blay in the booth. I was going to say, can you hear us? But yes, you can.
Almost had 3.
Almost. Superspeedway racing, there's a lot of give and take, a lot of pushing, a lot of this, a lot of that, a lot of mirror driving. And, I thought you might just stick behind Greg Lovell there when it got down to it. You saw the momentum coming up from the high side quicker than anybody else did. You got up there, got yourself back out in the lead. That outside groove, you couldn't get up there in time enough to stop Dante Ricky on, from being able to get the momentum that he had. Then you got back there, and I was beginning to wonder. I'm thinking, you are the points leader. Great points night for you. Last week wasn't the greatest points night, for you. Do you stay in second, or do you try to go for it? And I think I know what the answer would be, but what would you do if you had the opportunity? Would you have gone for it?
Oh, I was looking for an opening.
You see that? See you looking back, forth, left, right, trying to figure out whether or not you could get it in there.
Yeah, last week, I think was the worst race I've had 2 seasons.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that
was
just
horrible.
I don't remember where you finished, and I was surprised that you retained the points lead, but other than that, Randy Waugh didn't have the greatest of race. He was still, still running, but he wasn't up near the front like you guys usually are. Bobby Farrell had a great race, which moved him up into 3rd. Dante Ricky gained a little bit of momentum. Nate Balzer did, but 2 more races with this here. I'm not really sure. I think Randy finished in 8th. Dante Ricky's gonna be, gaining a little on you, not much, probably about 5 points. I've just got to say, you got to just get out there and I think race aggressively, go to for him when you can, but you might have to be a little bit more cautious in some points to make sure that you stay up there.
Well, I just wanted a good finish tonight and to lead when I was behind Greg, the reason I didn't stay behind him, I hadn't led a lap. I
Oh,
wanted to lead a lap to the point, and then after that, I just wanted a good finish. But coming on that last lap, I was waiting for that inside line to move up, coming
Thought
off
he was
3 and
good.
4. If they had them, then I would have had room to do something. But I was just kind of trapped where I was at, because Dante, the way he moved back and forth on that last lap, he did it perfect. He didn't leave me or the outside line anywhere to go.
Yeah.
I mean, he just kind of trapped us back there, and we was just following him because there wasn't nothing else we could do.
Well, we watched you off and on. I kept looking back and seeing where you were doing and how you were doing, and you slowly but surely kind of got your way up in there. You didn't start. I don't remember where you started now, but you didn't start.
15.
Yeah, I was gonna say you didn't think you started all that far up front, so you slowly but surely, methodically made your way up there. Those pit stops kind of came out. You had a really good pit stop, which kind of got you, in there. You got there where you guys were able to stay with that lead pack. Then you guys started just running nose to tail there. We're obviously not in the room with you when you were there talking about it, but maybe talking about what you're doing. But everybody just seemed to be content with running nose to tail. Were you guys trying to just see, if you guys could get some distance on that second group, or just wanted to run some laps off? How what was the thought process for you on that?
I'll save fuel.
Oh, okay.
Because some of them guys needed 2 cans, and some of them just needed a can and a half.
Okay.
I was trying to get mine down to a can and a half, but I believe I probably could have took a can, because I had like four laps extra. I probably could have got away with a can, especially if the caution come out.
Yeah. So you guys know that if you take like half a can, gives you how many laps?
Almost 5, close to 5 laps, about 4.5.
And then you can get what, 3 or 4 on a splash?
No, I've
Less
never
than that.
made it. I've never made it over a whole lap and a half with a splash.
Yeah. See,
At 2x, right? Like a splash would probably get you the 4 to 5 on a 1x race.
Well, if you like on this race, if you took a splash and it stayed green, within a lap and a half, you're going to be running out of gas.
oh wow.
Half a can will get you, just say 5 laps. It's a little short of that. A can will get you 10, a little bit short of that. And a whole tank will get you a little short of 20. It depends on where you're running. If you're leading, you're not probably getting 20.
Yeah, you're not going to save anything out front there. That's the other thing too. I see that Nostra was out there up front, so I thought maybe everybody was, let's let him burn the gas up,
Who finished third?
Doug Hewitt.
Yeah. Well, he ran a good race. And
Yeah.
Dante just did great, man. There wasn't nothing more he could have done. He earned that.
Yeah, well, he was watching the lanes, going with the lane this way, that way. So, that's what you got to do when in these things. It's amazing how you guys do that. But you go where the momentum is and try to keep everybody behind you. So
Yeah, some of these guys now, when they do that, they'll cut down too late, and around they go off the nose of the car in front of them. So I mean, you got to do it right to do it, and he did a great job.
yeah, Blaine, do you have any questions for Denny?
Yeah, even with, I was gonna say, like, watching you on those last laps, how you kind of you get out, you get in front, you get shuffled back in there. Are you making those decisions on the fly? Do you have a plan? Like, it's got to just it's so fast. Like, I've been out there racing with you guys, and things just sort of happen. Other guys are doing similar stuff, and then they end up losing 15 spots.
You got to use your momentum here. I mean, if you get a lot of momentum, you got to use it, or you just stay stuck in a line.
Mm.
Like, anytime you get your momentum up, you got to pull out and use it. And most times somebody will go with you, but sometimes they don't. But if you don't use your momentum, you just stay stuck where you're at, and you don't get anywhere.
So being the points leader too, like, do you find, okay, last week you had a bad race, like you said, it's one of the worst races you might have had here. Are you thinking the way these points are structured, maybe you sort of had one bad, you can kind of have one bad race and be okay, or how do you look at that? I guess there's nothing much you can do. You just have to move on, eh?
Well, it's 2. I think the first race of the season I got a DNF. I got wrecked out of it. And then last week was horrible for me. and it almost cost me the point lead, so I can't do that anymore. And I got to learn how to qualify. My qualifying's killing me. I guess I'm just glad I don't race like a qualifier. I'd be in the back all the time.
The good news is next week you ain't got to worry about it because it's random. Might be on pole.
Yeah,
No, I usually get it worse than Lotto.
I'll be on the pole. That's what usually happens. The broadcasters get pole.
Like Thursday, Lotto, I think I started 35th Thursday.
Right. Yeah.
I don't have any luck with Lotto.
Yeah.
And I told Ken, I said, quit telling people who's in top 5 in the points. I think they're aiming for us. But, last week scared me because I thought I lost my point lead. Then when I seen I still had it, tonight I just wanted a good finish. Top 5, top 8, I'd have been happy.
Well, 2 more races to go, and then, that championship could be yours as long as you can stay out of trouble. So.
Oh, yeah. Let me put my name on. I'm going to tell Ken how to spell it.
There you go. No, all right, Denny. Well, congratulations on your second place finish. That should put you a little bit more comfortable next week in the points lead. We'll give you a chance to thank anybody that you want to that helped you get here. So the floor is yours.
Well, I'd like to thank Bryant Motorsports for letting us race here with them, and Ken and all the admins, and all these guys that race here is awesome, man. Just being able to finish in the top 10 here is a hard thing to do. And just thank you guys for putting this on, and just thank God for letting us all be alive. And we'll see you next Saturday if God forbids.
Yeah, we'll be here.
There you go.
Thank you, fellas.
There you go. Denny Carroll, your second place finisher tonight. Current point leader should pad that lead just a little bit this week and maybe go on to win his first championship over here at ASR. So congratulations, buddy.
Be nice. Thank you. See you guys.
Thanks, Denny.
All right, good race, guys.
Okay, so Dante, you got Rod and Blaine in the booth. You got a copy.
Hey, Rod. Hey, Blaine. Oh, my. Thank you for the race tonight. I am so happy to finally achieve a big goal.
So you didn't know your last name was Richie, did you? Not Ricky.
Well,
I kept calling you Richie because,
don't worry about it. The story here is in the 5th grade, we had a new principal. And, of course, he didn't know that the correct pronunciation of my name was Ricky. Well, from that moment when he said, and Dante Ritchie is the student of the month, congratulations, came on in, handshake, everything, everybody started calling me Richard as my nickname, and I didn't like it, as you can imagine. But the story goes back to my family about 100, maybe 90 years ago, where it was pronounced Ritchie, but there were 2 families with the spelling Ritchie, and this was at a farmer's market in New Jersey, and they needed to distinguish the 2 families' produce for obvious reasons.
Okay.
So one was the Ricky produce, and the other was the Ritchie produce. So the Ritchie produce.
I looked at it as Christiana Ricci, so that's how she spells her last name.
Ricci. Yeah.
So I got corrected with it, and then I still mess it up every once in a while. But
no worries. I'm going to watch this back tonight, and I'm going to enjoy it just as much as I enjoy every TARNATION TV broadcast.
Okay. Anyways, 3 poles on the season.
Yes.
First, this will be your first win for the season. It's hard to believe as strong as you've been. You're currently 4th in points. You went in tonight 22 points out. You're going to gain a little bit on him, but not much. You got 2 more races. You got to be pretty strong if you want to come out of here with that championship this year.
I'll tell you what, Rod, this was the courage that I've been trying to show all season, and I promise I'll keep this brief because I have a tendency to go off on a million tangents. But
you're good.
Tonight was a test of my patience in the early stage of the race, and a test of my courage. I've been caught in the back of the pack so often with little help, only a few friends. I'll tell you what, though, tonight I got to give a lot of credit to Greg Lovell. He and I worked together very well in the early stages of the race. We stuck together on the bottom. Yes, the numbers were up top, but I wasn't ready to be aggressive too early. I wanted to make sure I got through the first green flag pit stop fine, and sure enough, we did that. By the time that we restart and we kind of find our flow, we're in a similar position. The second green flag pit stop, I actually blew past my pit stall and slid through the box. I was able to back up and recover. Going out of the pits, I knew I wasn't going to be able to hang on to the draft. That's when the yellow flag came out. I was very fortunate to catch the yellow flag on lap 50. That kind of restarted my momentum, gave me a chance to realize, this is a race now. This is where you turn things on. I had just enough time to refocus and get prepared for what was to come. In the end of the race, what's the key word? Again, patience. We had a situation where Brian Rawson and Doug Hullock got together, put the field 4 wide on the back. Patience. Hold the line, take a breath, focus. 7 or 6 to go. Greg Lavelle and Denny, those guys drove a great race. They got together in the tri-oval. Again, I had to make a move up, and I didn't want to jeopardize anybody on the top line to help Greg get back up. Patience, care, focus, awareness. Those things right there near the end of the race allowed me to realize when I could make a move to the top, when I could shuffle the traffic. And the very last one, of course, is the blocking. I'll tell you what, as much as I regret blocking, I knew I had to do it tonight. And I also know that last one on the last lap was a close one there with Doug. He was coming. He had momentum. I also knew I couldn't be passive and just stay on the bottom. I just wish I was 100% decisive instead of 99% decisive. But hey, my plan was to make sure I cover the lane, go back down, and talking with Denny and talking with Doug, their biggest thing, was they just weren't able to get clear of the lane they were in. And, that just happens by chance and by luck. I've never personally attested to a time where I think I was able to do that, and that's an extremely difficult thing to do when everyone's goal is to win the race and stay courage. But big thanks to Doug Hullock for, running a good race, and thanks to Denny and Greg Lavelle for really being there with me and, working well. So I enjoyed it, and those guys are hardcore, all of them.
Oh, the last 2 laps of that race, you changed the lanes a few times. You had to go where the momentum was. And my question would be is, what percentage of that last 2 laps are you looking out the windshield or in the mirror? Well, you got to give us a percentage to the people out there that understand how much you're looking in that rearview mirror.
It was about 80 mirror and 20 track. Yeah. And it was all about containing the lines. And you really can't control how even the line is. You just have to make sure your moves are calculated and clean. Those are the 2 keys. And lately, because I've run well this season, but this is kind of a similar theme on Thursday in the RTG Talladega Challenge. I haven't been running my best racing, okay? And I haven't had a lot of reps in the lead lately, but the years of experience pay off, but you always have to remember experience is one thing, but it's what can you do to bring to the table? What can you do to stay competitive? It's harder than ever to win these races, and that's just a true testament to the crowd and the group of drivers and how clean, professional, and experienced everyone is. And the competition level is at its maximum.
You look at the top 10 in points. Denny Carroll currently, right now, going in tonight, was the only driver in the top 10 points that had a win with 2. And now, you're going to be the second driver up there with, a win. I mean, it's a lot about winning too, but it's also winning, just staying focused, staying, when you can't win the race or, get that podium finish to try to get the best you can, and let the points fall. I mean, the way my calculations by looking at, Bobby Farrell did not have a great night tonight. Randy Waugh was back in 8th. You're going to be close. You're probably in the top 3 for sure. You got 2 more weeks to go out there and see if you can't dethrone Denny Carroll there and maybe get that championship.
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility, and it just shows the need to stay involved and continue to push hard. Sometimes you do have to take the points. And you get in a situation where you're further back than you want to be, or maybe there's a small draft like I had with Josh and Grant early in the season. Sometimes you do just have to sit, ride, and take the points and make sure that you maintain your finish. I will say this, I really want to be here next week, but I will reveal there is a small chance I may not make it next week. We're going to see how the soccer scheduling plays out, and I'll see what I can do, but I really want to make sure I'm here to have a shot at it at the end. And
Absolutely.
It's not going to be easy either way you look at it. And this is such a great league and a great series. And, whatever happens, it's an honor to finally get back to victory lane tonight. I'm more than thrilled with that. And I'm glad I haven't lost it yet.
There you go. Blaine, do you have anything for Dante?
I was curious, when you're playing defense with the blocks and stuff, and you have to do it. Is there ever a point? I mean, there's going to be good spots to do it when you're in the straightaway or whatever. Is there ever a point in which you would think, maybe I got a block, but I can't? Did you ever bail on that in certain sections of the track?
Well, I'll tell you, I lack recognition sometimes. And that's a skill that comes with years of experience and a little bit of who you're racing, okay? For example, if Greg and Denny are outside and Doug and Rodney are on the bottom, that situation is much different. I may approach the decisions to block differently. I may decide to move up quicker. In this case, the runs were coming, and the hardest part, in my opinion, Blaine, is recognizing when the runs are coming. Recognition. You just have to fully focus and be aware of when you're completely clear of the lane and when there's enough of a run that any perceived push would be able to push you forward. My plan was just to move up and move down. It was a try and you do all you can for these runs to be backed up a little bit so that when you go back in the corner, you can basically pull right back down and take the advantage in case the 3-wide develops. And this is something that in this series, it's a little bit easier for me. Whereas with the new EXEs that are out there that we run at RTG and other leagues, it's a little bit more difficult to do that type of blocking. But again, you have to be willing to adjust. And personally, I like having something different each night of the week, even if it's a slightly different setup, a slightly different. I like a little bit of change here and there. It gives you ways to stay focused and adjust, and you just have to recognize these things, and you also have to recognize when not to do it. And there is a time where you just cannot do it because you'll get wrecked or you will lose a spot in the lane you were in. So that's the second part of it.
And some leagues too have rules against it.
Correct.
And then so here they're obviously more all just drive, race, go.
Well, the other part I will briefly mention that being on 2 incidents, any incident I cause would really implement problems for me, because that would put me on wanted parks or worse, and you also put that in the back of your head, especially when you have points in your favor.
Well, there you go. Tonight's winner, Dante Ricky. I said it right.
Oh, yes.
I am trying really hard, but congratulations on your first place finish, first of the year. You're going to move yourself up there in points. So I'm going to give the opportunity to thank anybody you want to for getting you here. So the floor is yours.
Yes, and the first person I thank, the new sponsor. If you guys noticed, there's a different sponsor on the car this week. Jersey Mike Subs, of course, not really sponsored because this is a game in a sense. But Rodney Solins painted the car. Rodney does an outstanding job. New paint scheme. Same theme. I want to thank him a lot for putting time and effort in, and he's such a big help to what we do and what everybody does with all the Rodney paints that are out there. Big thank you to all the racers tonight. Huge turnout, very competitive, overall clean race. Also want to thank our league owners and operators, Brian Wolf, David Chin, Mike Mangialardi, Brian C. Garland, everybody who admins, runs this league, keeps it going. Thank you. Thank you for running this. Ken Roberts, I know he wasn't here tonight. I hope you feel better, Ken. We're thinking about you, and I know that you were very proud to have me in the race, and I'm very proud to have you behind the scenes keeping this rolling. You do an excellent job in every league and every series that you're involved with. Big thank you to my family and everyone who's supporting me through life and being there when times are great, and even when they're not so great. Thank you to everyone at RTG who's helped me over the years and who's come over here to race. I know that we had a few people wreck out early tonight. And thank you to you guys, Blaine and Rod, for putting on such great broadcasts with TARNATION TV. And every week, this looks so good. And Blaine, I got to say, there's nobody who does it better than you.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah,
All right, it looks
that
good.
means a lot.
It's
That's awesome. Thank you.
so professional, you guys. All right, thank you for everything tonight. Have a great March, and we'll try to be here next week if we can at all possible.
We hope to make it, but that'd be awesome.
All right.
Congratulations.
I'm sorry Cody Lamas couldn't get 3 in a row. I was pulling for him, believe me. I did 3 in a row with RTG 5 years ago, and I got a second place on the fourth race. That is a hard feat to do.
He was right there. He couldn't get the brakes. You know how it
I was
is.
pulling for you. Shout out to Cody. All right, guys. You have a good night. Thank you for everything.
Congratulations, bud.
Thanks for the kind words, Dante. Have a good night.
Thanks.
Going to
Well, that
move
was
him, and
nice.
he moved on it.
Yeah.
So, first thing I gotta mention,
Yep.
David Chin,
Mhm.
8th place tonight.
Top 10. Yep.
8th place tonight. I'm so
showing
proud of him. That was so
ninth.
awesome. 9th is it? Either care. Top 10.
It is
He
top
finished
10.
the race.
Yep.
Finished the race. Top 10. I don't think he got a scratch in that thing tonight. I mean, he got
yeah, after the checkers, he definitely did. But
after
yeah.
that. Different, but all night long, he even parked it twice on the backstretch when stuff happened in front of him, and that's awesome. I'm glad to see that he finally got that in there. Dante Ricky getting his first win of the season.
Yep.
I believe it's going to, just was looking at the points there, it's going to move him up to about 3rd. I don't think he might make enough to. It's going to be close between him and Randy Waugh, so that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. 2 more races to go. You got to come check this out next week. It's just going to get better with the next 2 weeks. You take someone like Dante Ricky, said he was saying, just you trying to use patience. Tonight was a little more aggressive. Next week, depending on where he falls in the points, he might be a little, not that he drove not smart tonight, but you know what I mean? He might be a little bit more smarter driving just because, now we got to think about points. You get out there the last race, and the only thing he's got to do to win this championship is win. He's going to go charging to the front.
Yeah, man. And I love it. And I forgot, he has actually had 2 races that are a little bit suspect than he has. So to be in the spot that he's in shows how consistent he's been. And you have to be with this point structure, you know what I mean? But, getting those podium finishes, you get those bonuses, there's more points to be had if you can hit the podium. If you don't get on the podium, you're only separated by 1. And there's a lot of people that come here every week. So that's not hard, especially with the amount of drivers and the amount of skill that's out there to be able to finish like that. But he's on his way to, maybe tying it up. But again, the way it's structured, it's coming down to the last lap of the final race, I think.
Their points, they're not points. Their penalty system is kind of, unique to some. Some leagues don't have this kind, what they do. But we've seen, where drivers have, lose leads or lose points or whatever after they review. That's what they're doing down there right now, reviewing the race. They'll basically go through any episode, anything that happened tonight, and try to determine whether or not that driver was at fault, and then what penalties they're gonna concur. Dante didn't have any tonight, which is good. I think he ran a great race. I don't know how them guys do it, but smart. He was just, that last lap, just watching the lines, watching the momentum, moving up in front, back and forth. Like Denny Carroll said, if he had opened up the bottom enough and he could have got my nose in there, he would have gone for it. But I don't blame Denny. That's a good, smart move. He's still the points leader. I think he padded his lead a little bit. So it was a great race. A couple of early cautions, and then we had some really good racing. At the end of it, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, the green, pitting under green is always. I love that stuff. It really breaks the field up. A lot of different strategies can happen from there. And some guys getting messed up on pit road, and then the yellow coming out, like saved Nate. What did Nate end up with? A 12th place finish. He got spun out by the 41 coming into the pits. And while they were both there, the yellow comes out. So no harm, no foul, right? Just perfect timing. It could have been way different outcome for both of those guys.
Absolutely.
And, it's, again, awesome run. I was on the edge of my seat the last 15 laps of that thing. It was great. I didn't know where to put the camera, so hopefully it looked okay on the broadcast. I was actually leaning on the helicopter camera a lot more tonight because I can cover the whole a whole bunch of cars with that thing. I could drop that camera on the middle car in the pack, and you get the whole pack. So it might be a little bit of a boring camera, but it definitely lets you see the entirety, right? It's a cool one. I like to use it in certain situations. I've used it a lot tonight.
It'd be interesting to count how many lane changes that he made in that last lap, because I mean, he was doing what he had to do. I mean, that's the unfortunate thing about the way this racing is. You gotta have somebody behind pushing. So if that line's going, you got to go there. And he did an awesome job of literally going back and forth there, just keeping everything going. So that was pretty cool.
Keeping everything going, like keeping himself going.
Yeah.
Because then you're forcing that line you're moving into to maybe check up a little bit. So you're keeping them at bay without wrecking anybody, and you're allowed to do that. Like most things have that.
If that line moves and moves good, you're going with it. So that's what you got to do.
Yeah, once it starts to come back the other way, you just you keep everybody behind you. That's the name of it.
Upcoming broadcast, we need to talk about that. Tomorrow night we don't have anything, but Monday night we're back on RV There Yet Turbo TV, TARNATION TV Turbo. Go watch us get beat up by Billy Goats. Maverick, we start Maverick on Tuesday for that's a big one coming up. That's a 21 race season for us, which doesn't every Tuesday. 26. I mean, yeah, that's right. Yep. And then, of course, next month's going to be a real busy one for us. Of course, you guys will be the RTG Challenge Series Thursday night. Saturday, we'll be back here. And then pretty soon, Tuesday, it will be Saturday, Monday on RV, Tuesday, Maverick, Wednesday, TMP. You guys will be at RTG. We're not going to have too many free nights.
No, there's a lot going on, yeah. Mm-hmm. With TMP being in the mix there in April. Is it April? I think it's March.
March, too.
March and April. That'll be a lot of fun. So, yeah, different leagues, different drivers, different setups. The Maverick race on Tuesday will be the first race that I broadcast with my new computer. I've been getting that thing set up for the past few months, but I've been right on top of it the last couple weeks.
Our first racing broadcast.
Yeah.
You've been doing RV There Yet with it, so.
That's correct, yeah. The NASCAR broadcast, it'll be the first one, so got some cool stuff planned, and Ben has a bunch of people in place creating a bunch of different things for the broadcast, too. We got some awesome looking stuff for that race. That's going to be quite the production. That's going to be a big event. I don't even know how many guys he had show up last week for qualifying, but...
And we got the thing sent in the text there of who made it and who didn't. So it's going to be a 40-car field of cars. I know there's been a few substitutes and a few changes going on, but there's going to be 40 cars there racing this coming Tuesday at Daytona. So that's, they got to have, the game can take 42. The half has one for the server, which is technically it can take 43. Right. But it takes one place is taken by the server, 2 places is taken by us, so that only allows 40 drivers on there, so they had to have knockout qualifying on there. So there'll be 40 drivers racing this coming Tuesday on Maverick at Daytona.
So it'll actually be 39, because we've got 3 broadcasters that night. Brian Wolf.
Oh, that's right, too. I forgot about that. Yep.
So, full field there. Definitely check that out. RTG on Thursday, of course, back here for race number 9 of 10, Talladega, the premier of Talladega Superspeedway Series here at All-Star Racing. Of course, thanks again to Bryant Motorsports. I'm going to run their advertisement here shortly. Come back here to ASR on Wednesdays to run open setups. That's a lot of fun. I'll run that advertisement as well as we head off into the sunset. Anything left you need to say, sir?
Oh, no. Good race tonight, Dave Chen, congratulations. Congratulations to Dante Ricci at his first win of the season. Hopefully he'll get some more. We'll see. It's going to be a good fight to the end for the championship. So can't wait to see how this falls out in place.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I hope you guys come check it out in the next couple of weeks here. And definitely check out Tuesday. I hope that the new computer does a good job at broadcasting that, because I've put a lot of work into kind of migrating everything over and updating a lot of stuff too. So it should look pretty slick. But as always, thank you very much, Bryant Motorsports. David Chin, Brian Wolf, all the administrators, of course, involved running these races. Everybody who watched the thing live or on the replay, that's always awesome. Lots of interaction on the YouTube. It's cool to see. Who knew this would be a thing? And yeah, so thanks to the viewers and, of course, the drivers, you know, with all these guys, 31 or something, I think, tonight. Can't do it without the drivers either. So thanks a lot, Mr. Weston, for your co-hosting duties.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And as always, if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. Keep your stick on the ice.
You get this car for Grandma. Me too. He got it at Bryant Motorsports on High Street in Portsmouth. She's really gonna love it. I know, right? If you need a car, give us a call at 393-2600. That's 393-2600.